Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to do a little bit more when it comes to some plastic surgery on a Mattel figure. And as you can see, the one that we are targeting today would be the Extreme Chompin' Spinosaurus. We are going to use the Camp Cretaceous Spinosaurus. I acquired another one of these way back when this was actually still, readily on shelves at Walmart. I grabbed a second one. At the time, I didn't really know why. I just felt like grabbing another Spinosaurus, but it seems as though there was a purpose because Syrett Techs and Marco Makes have released replacement parts, and as you can see there at the bottom, quite a few replacement parts that we are going to use to customize this Spinosaurus, and then of course I'm going to transform it into the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, which a lot of the time it seems like every time I see somebody take these, including Marco when he did his, he just basically wanted his to continue to look like the Camp Cretaceous toy, but updated and better looking. It doesn't seem like too many people are recreating the JP3 Spino with this, which is weird because I would have expected that to be like the default option, but for some reason a lot of people seem to just be going with the Camp Cretaceous version, maybe because they don't really feel like giving their figure a full repaint. I'm going all in. I'm definitely going to repaint mine completely, but you can see that we've got the brand new head sculpt here. You can see that looks really nice. Definitely a vast improvement. I almost dropped it compared to the original head sculpt that is on the Mattel figure. You can see the teeth as well look so much nicer. On top of that, you also have replacement feet that are, of course, a much more reasonable size and in my opinion, just generally look a lot nicer than the Mattel version. And on top of that, we also have a tail here, a tail extension that you would put at the end of the tail of the Spinosaurus so that you can increase the length of the tail, because the Spino from Mattel has definitely got that short tail going on. Now, Marco has actually put up a video very thoroughly showing you how to take the pieces off from the Spinosaurus itself. I'm not going to show every ounce of that. I'll basically tell you what I'm doing, and then if you want to actually visually see it, I recommend checking out the original creator of these parts, Marco Makes video, to actually watch him do it. But basically what I'm going to do is, of course, pop the Spino out, but I'm going to then take like a razor knife or something, and I'm just going to pry the tip of the tail off. There's a seam right here. I just have to pry that off, and then I also have to work on the feet and the head. But we'll get the tail off, and we'll apply the new tail, and then we'll go on from there. So as you can see, the tail is now removed, that part of it at the very least, and it's actually very easy to get this off. You just basically need to take a razor knife, put it in through the seam, and then kind of cut through this soft rubber that is in there. And then we're going to, I might have to carve that out a little bit because there's a small peg here on the tail, but we're then going to place this in and then glue it on with some super glue. So let me go ahead and get that done. So the tail is now applied. You can see the extra length on the tail is quite significant. I will also say that mine was a little defective as far as the tail goes, and I didn't notice it when I was first pulling the tail off, but there's like a little gap on the one side that I'm probably going to have to fill with some putty. It's not a big deal. Let me turn it around and show you guys. It's only a small seam, but there's like, it just doesn't match up. You can see like there's an open area on this version, so I guess this was a defective Spino, at least as far as that area of the tail goes. So I will have to fix that a little bit and correct that. But again, my next step would be to then take off the feet and put the feet on. And to do that, there's basically going to be a seam here running along the back of the leg. Now I need to get in there with like a razor knife, pop that open, and pull the foot out, because the foot has this same type of like peg here for the underside. So I just have to get that out, and then we'll be able to replace the feet with the other feet. And also, I do want to state that if you are going to be doing any of this, either make sure you are of age to do this kind of stuff or have a parent help you, because I would hate to see anybody stabbing themselves with a razor knife or anything like that trying to, dissect their Spinosaurus. So please make sure that you are either old enough to do that or, of course, again, have your parents help to do this. So, as you can see, we have the feet as well as the tail extension now on our Spinosaurus. The tail was easy to pry off and then basically glue back on. The feet were a little bit more tricky. I realized, part of the way through that the best option for taking the feet off is to heat them up. Definitely put them in some hot water, heat them up, and then they're much easier to get off, and then put the new feet back on. And similar to what Marco did in his video, I actually glued mine in place because I don't really care too much for the swivel ankles. I feel like it's probably one of the most useless articulated areas of any Mattel figure, because honestly, every time you turn the ankles like that, it's basically like you're breaking the ankle of the dinosaur, so it never looks natural or anything to me. So I glued mine in place. I felt like that was probably going to be the best way for me to go about it, my personal preference. But now, next up is going to be the head. As I said, you basically am going to have to heat up the head and then pry it off, similar to how we did it with the Hammond Collection T-Rex when we upgraded my T-Rex. But if you haven't seen how to do it quite yet, check out Marco's video. Again, like I said, he actually gives a visual demonstration of how to remove the head, and it's always good to watch that just to kind of give you an idea on how to do it. So I'm going to pop my head here off of my Spinosaurus, and then I'm going to put the new head on, and we'll check that out from there. So there we go, the Spinosaurus now has its head on and everything, and actually looks as epic as it gets. I'm really excited to get some paint work on this and check out the final product. Obviously, I haven't given it a base coat yet, but I'm going to paint this with a territorial beige as far as the overall base coat goes, and then I'm going to paint the entire figure after that. I did want to let you guys know, though, that there are actually glass eyes available for this that you can get from Syrett Techs as well, which you can see the glass eyes are really nice actually, but I'm going to paint the eyes onto mine. So as always, let's get to that point of painting and we'll check out the entire figure once it's finished. Okay, so the figure is finished, and you might be wondering, where was the painting process? Well, normally I usually include that when it comes to these customization videos, but this time I chose not to. I actually did begin filming the painting process, and then I kind of got like most of the base coats and all of that stuff done, and then realized that the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 is mostly very small, very slow painting with lots of precision, and it takes a very long time. And honestly, I've always kind of struggled with the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, and it's just one figure that I've never been very confident in when it comes to my paint applications. So I chose to paint this one just, by myself with up close and not really having the camera get in the way or anything. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but trust me, sometimes when I'm painting with the camera on, it's hard to really get close because the camera's always in my way and stuff. So I chose to just go ahead and paint this one without the camera on it, and hopefully, you guys don't mind that. If you would like a kind of like, I guess you could just say like instructions on how I would suggest painting it and the way I kind of painted mine, I could, reply in the comment section with that. But as far as the finished product goes, here is my now finished Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. And again, I'm really happy with it. I think Marco's feet on these are fantastic. I think the head sculpt is such a massive upgrade compared to the older head sculpt that was on this. And honestly, his detail is so good. When you look at it, you can see the actual sculpt and detail from Marco is significantly better than what Mattel has given us here with their Spinosaurus. So the head sculpt almost puts the body to shame. It's just so good. Same deal, I would say, with the feet here. I think the feet are just absolutely fantastic when it comes to Marco's sculpts. So overall, it definitely creates a way nicer, let me see if I can get a better, wider view, a way nicer looking version of a Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, or, Camp Cretaceous, if you choose to go the route of the Camp Cretaceous version. That's really up to you. Of course, we now have a much longer tail as well, which the detailing of the tail, I would say, is also a bit better than what Mattel has provided us, but it's not as obvious as you move out through the tail, what is Marco's part and what is Mattel's part. And I tried to kind of blend the two together so it wasn't so obvious. But again, I am really, really happy with this. Maybe It's still probably not even close to perfect, but maybe my favorite Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus that I have painted so far. And of course, we still have the articulated jaws and everything going on. Once you apply Marco's head, it all still works perfectly. Get a look at the other side quick. But again, it is an absolutely incredible Spinosaurus. And you really don't realize, even though Mattel's detail isn't quite as good as Marco's, you really don't realize how nice the Mattel Spinosaurus really is, I think, until you get some better parts on it and you can really see how good the figure looks as a whole. And of course, when we see these wide shots here, you can now again also see how good the figure looks overall. So if you are interested in grabbing some of these replacement pieces and adding them to your Spinosaurus, I will of course include links in the description to where you can purchase these from Syrett Tech. Of course, they were created by Marco Makes and now they are sold through Syrett Tech. Like, they often collaborate on really cool stuff, especially Hammond collection replacement pieces, but obviously just in general Mattel replacement pieces. So far and a way better looking Spinosaurus now that it's fully finished with these new replacement pieces on it. So like I said, if you are interested, make sure you head to the links in the description. Go grab yourself some of these replacement pieces. Have a great time customizing your Spinosaurus, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think of mine, if I did an okay job or not. And of course, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.